Hello there, my Stampin' friends. Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have Stampin' Show and Tell to share with you today for my Make It Monday project. This is going to be a fun fold card. It's new to me. It was shared to me from my upline, and now I'm going to share this project with you. It's pretty clever. It's got a double teck enclosure, so that's kind of fun. And then I'm using the Boughs of Holly Designer Series paper paired with Real Red for my cardstock color, and I'm going to be using the Leaves of Holly dies and stamp set to finish it off. Okay, so watch as I put it together, and then stay tuned at the end. I have a new offering that many of you might be interested in, so watch till the end and then you'll find my links down below. Okay, so here we go. So I'm starting with a piece of Real Red cardstock. Okay, now remember, you go to my blog, you'll find all the details on measurements and scoring. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and crease this on my score lines. Now, you probably noticed that one of my panels is dry embossed. I did dry emboss this panel with my folder from Stripes and Splatters, okay, just to give that a little bit of different texture going on in contrast to the Designer Series paper panels I'm going to use. So there's that. Okay, so there's my base. Okay, and what's going to happen is we're going to double tuck it like this. Okay, and that's kind of fun. So now we have some Designer Series paper panels to put on. So I've got two that are at a 1 inch and one that's at 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to get my liquid adhesive and I'm going to add adhesive to the back of these. Now, this is kind of fun in that almost every area of the card is going to get something decorative on it. So this one's going to be the front. Yeah, I'm going to put those at the top. This one's at the front of that first fold over. I called it our first tuck. Okay, so there's that one. Then, okay, that one's going to be like that. This one is like this, so I'm going to put my second one here. This is the wider one. And that's going on just like that. Okay, so far I have one embossed panel and two Designer Series panels. Okay, now you could stop right there. You don't necessarily need to use these, right? You could just go with that. However, I'm going to show you all the other fun ways we can deck this out. So now when this card opens, we've got this panel. Well, that's where this one's going to go. So this is another 1 inch strip, and this one's going to go on the inside of this opening right here. Okay, now when this card opens, okay, the way it folds, there's this blank panel here. So I've used the back side of that paper, and I'm going to put it here for contrast. So a nice way to showcase both sides of our papers is to use both sides of our papers in the same project. And that's exactly what this fun fold allows us to do. We can pick and choose our panels. Okay, now, so far we've got our double tuck, we have our opening, we have our overlap. Now this is the panel where I embossed it on my embossing machine first. So all I did was I took my 3 inch folder and I put it on my cardstock. Remember, I did this before I even started, and I ran it through my machine so that I had an embossed panel, which gave me a contrast to the papers. But you could also just add another panel of paper there, or you could just leave it blank. So it's your card, make it your way, whatever you feel comfortable doing, but I wanted something a little extra there. Now this one is going to be the inside where I would stamp my greeting, write my note, whatever it is you want to put inside your card. For right now, I'm going to leave it blank because this will get used as a holiday card, so I'll probably put a greeting and a little note in there, potentially. But that's going to go right over that embossed panel on the inside. So I'm just giving that a little extra pressure rubbing on there to make sure that that adheres to the embossed texture panel behind. Okay, so there's that. Now we're going to deck it out with a belly band. So I have another piece. This is not the same piece. I ran out of that paper, but it's a coordinating piece from that same Boughs of Holly package. And so I'm going to add this to my belly band. And go right down the center. And because all our papers coordinate, it's got the same color in it, even though it's not the same pattern, but that's okay. Change in pattern is fine. Okay, so there's my belly band. Now when you do a belly band, this is what I suggest. Start with it across the front. You're just going to overlap in the back. Okay, flip it over, and then try not to move it. Flip it over. So I'm going to fold it and crease it with my bone folder. Okay, that one can be a little bit snug, but when you do this one, actually scooch it up a little. Okay, I pushed it up a little so there's a little gap there. You could go even a little more. And then fold this one over. Okay, by scooching it up, you're giving the band some ability to shift on there so people can get their card open. Okay, so after you've done that, we're just going to add a little adhesive here, and I'm going to put some right there on the tail. Remember, I don't want that to overlap and actually touch my card, so you have to be careful how much you put on. And then just rub that together, and that's going to complete our belly band. So that was kind of a fun, new fun fold, yeah? Okay, so while that's drying, I've die cut from the coordinating dies for our Leaves of Holly set this little tag, and I have the Christmas Wishes sentiment that I'm going to stamp in real red. I can see through my block. Let's see if I can get it down there nice and square. That works. So I've got that I can put on my belly band, and then I've used my leaves, my holly leaf dies, and I've die cut from Old Olive some leaves, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive on the back, and then I'm going to put the detailed die over the solid die to make a fun embellishment for my card. So this one fits on top of here. And you just kind of have to press it to marry the two layers together so it holds. Okay, and then I've got the smaller one. Same thing, I'm just adding a little bit of adhesive. If you get a little bit too much, just move it around with the tip. Don't want it to kind of squirt out from behind it, otherwise it gets sticky. But just a little bit like that, and then flip it over, and this one's going to adhere to the solid one. Right over the top. Press that down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sentiment on with dimensionals. And if you've been with me before, you know that I do that so I can tuck embellishments behind. So this is going to go right here. And you could leave it just like that. You don't necessarily have to add anything else, but I am going to add these. So these are going to tuck in like this. Fun little embellishment, and then this could even come down a little bit if it wanted to. So I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive to the stem. Slide that in. Make sure I get it down far enough. And then the same thing with this. It's kind of like building a bouquet, but just out of paper instead of leaves, right? Instead of flowers. So I just press all that together, and then there's my project. So remember, you can leave me comments here, or again, hop over to the blog post and you'll see all the measurements and dimensions and the instructions on how to make this fun project that I've just shown you today. Or if you need the list of the items that I've used, right, the designer series paper or the stamps. Now, I said I had an announcement. So what I've done is over the summer I've been following Jackie Bolas. She's been doing a once a month fun fold template class where she walks us through some fun folds, and we can follow along with her video and make our own templates. So I've been doing that. So this is not one of hers that she shared, at least not as of yet. This is one I had from my upline, but I've done basically what she's been helping us do all summer is I've made a template. So as you can see, I've used designer series paper and cardstock that's retired, right? I always have lots of retired cardstock. And what I've done is I've created the same project, but I've just used basic, right, non-embellished panels, and each panel has its measurements on it. And then on the back side I write my base and my score lines, and then like here I have the belly band as well. So I can now go to my shoebox of templates, pull out my cards and say, oh yeah, I want to use this template today. Then I just take this right over to my supplies. I pull out the papers I want to use, and I go to my cutting machine, my my paper cutter, that's what it's called, my paper cutter. I cut all my panels, and then I can start crafting right away because I've got my layout in front of me, I have all my measurements, I can do all those panels at once, and then I can sit down and I can add stamps, I can add embellishments, I can add ribbons, I can add die cuts, whatever I want to do to dress up my basic template. So the project that I'm starting next month with my customers, and if you're interested you can join us, is I'm going to be creating 2 of these fun folds a month. Why 2? I am going to be crafting a template for you. Okay, so you'll get a pre-made template in the mail from me, and then you'll also get a kit of pre-cut supplies so you can practice making the template yourself. Okay, and then that one that you practice, you can either keep it as a second template, or then you can dress it up with your own embellishments and stamps and sentiments after you've made it. But in doing so, I know a lot of my stampers have a hard time looking at a video and then just going and following instructions. They like to have it in their hands, right? So they can play with the belly band, they can see how everything overlaps, they can see how the folds go together. And the other thing about, nice thing about the template is I'm going to put panels on here that have all the panels and all the measurements, but when you make your card, just like I did this one, I didn't use this panel, I did the dry embossing. I said you could have eliminated these 2, right? You could have just left them plain. So you'll have a template with all your options and all the basic measures, but then you can make the card the way you want to. So if you want to join us, I have the tab below to go over to my blog to see all the information. You'll get a pre-made template for 2 different fun folds. You'll get 2 pre-cut practice card sets, cardstock sets to make your own practice template. I will be doing a video to walk you through putting your templates together after you get them in the mail, and I will send you a PDF tutorial with the printed instructions as well. So however it is you learn, whether it's hands-on and whether it's watching a video, whether it's following a tutorial, you'll have those options for yourself, and then you can have your own template box of cards that you can then go and refer to. Okay, so if I haven't confused you with all that talk, just go on over and see my blog post that has it all laid out simply for you. And you can just email me. My email is on my blog post on my blog to sign up if you want to join us. So you are welcome. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the project today. I hope maybe you're excited about joining my class in the mail, and I will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.